So welcome back once again. Here we go, back on Don't Bother Me's cooking channel, man. Here we go with my stuffed jalapeno poppers. This video is actually longer than you need to watch. You do not need to watch the tedious process that I go through time in and time out, but I allowed you to see what I do. So when you get a chance, take your time, watch it. Don't bother me, just watch the video. So to get started, first thing I do is I get some jalapenos. When you get to the store and you're picking your jalapenos, maybe one day I'll show when I do that part. I try and find the bigger ones if possible. For this recipe, what kind of made it interesting was I have some people who, they don't do red meat. They do seafood, but they don't do like bacon and the ground pork and ground chicken. Some of the things that you're gonna see I put in these stuffed jalapenos or the ground turkey. So there's gonna be two different styles of jalapeno, stuffed jalapenos I'm gonna do. So as you're looking at the video, what you've seen me do was take a couple of these jalapenos and I chop them in half and I get the core out of them. This is the typical way that I go about making this dish. But being that I had some special orders, special requests, I went ahead and did something different with a couple of them. The ones that I core out, I go ahead, I throw them in the bowl to wash them. I make sure I get the seeds and everything off of them. And then as you're watching the video, you'll see that there's another set of jalapenos that I didn't chop in half. What I did was I chopped the head off of them. And after I chopped the head off of them, I go ahead and I grab my paring knife. Paring knife is typically the smaller knife that you're gonna have that's pretty sharp. So you go down, you reach down in there, and you wanna get the core out of these jalapenos the best that you can. This is, like I said, with this video, this does become a tedious process. Some people talk about my patience when I cook. Like I said, I just like to eat good. It's not the patience. When you like to eat good, one thing I've learned in life is, like, when you really want something, you're gonna put in the work to get it done. And that's kind of what took place with this situation. So as you see right here, I'm gutting out these jalapenos and leaving them whole. The reason I'm doing that and I'm not chopping them in half, the ones that get chopped in half, as you'll see later in the video, those are going to be the ones that are stuffed with, they're going to be wrapped in bacon. So being that they're wrapped in bacon, and believe it or not, they're not going to be wrapped in my black pepper bacon that I use in just about all of my videos. I just use simple bacon this time. I try to avoid the super thick bacon because these are going to be going on the grill at the end of the situation. So back to what I have going on. The jalapenos get chopped, and as you see, I have some that are cored out. I have other ones that I've chopped in half. So off to the right hand side, I have a cutting board covered with some shrimp. I use the smaller shrimp, which is going to be, I believe it's the 71 to 90 count. The reason I use this is because they come with the tails off already. They're already clean, so I go ahead and rinse them, season them up, and then I'm gonna get my favorite knife and I'm gonna get to hacking. Little old fashioned. I mean, some of you guys, if you want, throw it in the blender. It'll blend it up for you, whatever you want to do. But for me, I had to go ahead and just hack away. So for the ones that are cored out, and for the people who don't eat bacon, what you can do is just stuff the whole jalapeno. That's so that when it gets on the grill, you're going to be able to rotate it, you'll be able to roll it over, and you don't have to worry about losing any of your food, none of the time wasted. The other ones I'm going to stuff, but one thing, when you stuff them, when you wrap them in bacon, I've realized it's a lot easier when you can when you slide a toothpick in them. But in that situation, the last thing you want to do is forget that you have a toothpick in them, because if you do forget that, you're liable to bite into the toothpick. With this now, you see, as I'm chopping, I have ground chicken, and I believe, I have ground chicken, and I believe the other one is going to be ground turkey, or is it ground pork? Who knows? I think I'm gonna actually show it in a little bit. This was a part of my Thanksgiving feast that I put together with the family, and I mean, I can't lie, they all came out good. I actually took some of the whole jalapenos and I wrapped a couple of those in bacon because I had more jalapenos than I had planned to make. Now, One thing when it comes to this dish that you're gonna want to keep in mind is this is a tedious process. So if you don't have the patience, you're really not gonna want to deal with it. Um, Here comes the cheese. Yeah, buddy. So in a bowl, what I do is I take that ground chicken. I'm gonna take the cheese as well as the other meat, and I'm gonna season that up lightly, as well as mix that with the cheese. So yeah, as you see, it's the ground chicken and ground turkey. I had a feeling I showed it. This is something, and then I do chop up some green onions. I like my scallions. And please, people, when you make this dish, if you're gonna use your hands like I'm doing, make sure your nails are clean. Don't start sticking your dirty fingernails into this meat, man, that you're gonna be feeding people. I am very big on hygiene. That's why a lot of my videos you'll see I'm leaning over to the sink, I'm dumping stuff. If you had the natural sound, you'll constantly hear my water being turned on so I can wash my hands, little things like that. Hygiene is very important. So as you see, I added some shrimp to that mixture, and if I'm not mistaken, I added some of my bacon that I didn't the bacon that I cooked earlier for a different meal. So here I go, hitting it with a little bit of garlic salt. I'm gonna hit it with some black pepper. Your seasonings, like I tell everybody in every video, goes to your preference. I can't give all of my seasoning secrets, and it's not that it's a secret, but due to my location, I might have access to things you don't have access to. I might like things spicier than you. So with that being said, you have to season to your liking and what your people prefer. So as you'll see, first thing I start stuffing into the jalapeno, I get some cheese down at the bottom because I want to make sure it's nice and cheesy. Now, like I said, for my people who do not do the other meat, as you see, I went in with some cheese, the shrimp that was already seasoned. I go ahead and I stuff that with some shrimp that I diced up, as well as more cheese. It just makes it a very cheesy, savory flavor. So instead of fighting with it, you'll see I start mixing the cheese with my shrimp. And like I said, for me, a lot of this stuff is experimental, off the top of my head, or improvisation. So with that being said, don't shoot the messenger, man. I just be trying to make things happen. I'm not afraid to burn or not afraid to fail, and those are very big when you're cooking. You can't be afraid to fail. So as you see right now, I'm stuffing. I start grabbing the jalapenos and I'm stuffing. I got a head count on how many I need to make for my loved ones. So I go ahead and I start getting theirs together first. As you see, I had rinsed my hands off and I dried those off after I had touched that other meat, because like I said, my people don't eat the ground turkey, ground chicken. They don't do the bacon. So I try my best not to cross-contaminate on the heavy level where they have to deal with that or the flavoring. So you can see I have a few stuffed already. Like I said, it's the holiday season. Forgive my mom, she's walking around in the background. We were going back and forth out there. She goes with that knife. We was having a good old time, good conversations. I had my aunt over, so it was interesting. And it was a blessing to be able to sit there and cook for my mom and my aunt. I mean, when you've been raised a certain way, to be able to give back to your family and feed them, that's amazing. So back to the dish. So the jalapenos I cut in half. As you see, I've grabbed the other bowl. There's shrimp in that bowl. There's ground chicken, ground turkey, the cheese. And what I start doing, I'm not light on the meat because I want this to be a nice, fulfilling, hearty appetizer, if you shall say that. So what you'll see me do is grab that mixture that I had with all the ground up turkey, ground chicken, cheese, shrimp, and green onions. That's mixed in the bowl. And I'm grabbing them one by one, stuffing the jalapenos, wrap the jalapeno around, and then just go ahead and slide a toothpick halfway through. This goes back to what I was saying. It's a tedious process. So if you understand that, you'll see you don't have to sit there and watch the length of this part of the video, because it should be pretty clear on how to stuff your jalapenos, how to wrap them. I've also realized if you make them a little thicker, as you can see with this one right here, the bacon, I don't know, the bacon is just like the perfect size for it. There's a few that I actually add some more cheese to make it cheesier. So there's certain things you can do, and that's going to come down to your preference on how you want to do it. Yeah, my uncle decided he wanted to jump into the sweet potato pie, so I had to let him know, hey man, I'm trying to record, bro. Like, can you slide the pie that way just a tad bit? Thank you very much, sir. I'm trying to make some things happen, man. Entertain some people, let people know that I try to eat good out here. So what you're going to also see is there are a few that I've made that are the whole jalapenos, and since I already did the head count for my people who don't do the ground chicken and ground turkey, I went ahead and stuffed the jalapenos that I cut the head off of, and I started wrapping those in bacon. Yes, I am a bacon lover. Now these jalapenos that I'm making, I've done them plenty of times without the toothpicks. It is possible to get the bacon to hold, but you just have to cook them with that the last end that you fold over. When you throw them on your grill, you want to make sure that end is the downside, the bottom side, so that as they cook, it hardens up, and you want it to harden up in that position where that cooks like that, because you don't want it to unroll, and then when you open your grill, excuse me, you don't have your bacon rolled around your jalapenos anymore. Now your bacon has like tried to straighten itself out due to the heat and unfolding. So as you see, the pan is starting to stack up. I'm starting to get the mound of the variety of jalapenos I've done. And in the process of preparation, it's almost time for me to go ahead and just say, don't bother me. I got to go get these out there on the grill one time.